If you are a service-based business that's based here in Singapore and you're looking to increase the number of customers and leads to your physical shop, then I have this simple strategy for you that you can apply straight away at no cost. And the reason why this method works is because we have actually tried this with a lot of our partners, and all the time when we apply this, the number of leads and customers always increase for their physical shop. So what this method did is, like I mentioned earlier, it always results in the number of leads and customers, and you do not actually have to spend any money on this. It's actually pretty simple to do. And the method that I'm talking about here, it's basically to optimize your web page. So what you do need to have is you need to have a website and some pages that is already live on your website. The requirements are actually pretty simple. Like I mentioned earlier, you need your website, you need to know how to edit your website, you need a SEO tool, and you need to do some form of tracking. Now, when it comes to SEO tools, you don't actually need to pay for an SEO tool. You can usually subscribe to a free trial, and then once you're done on the free trial, you can choose not to renew it after that. So the first step is actually to decide whether if there's a demand for the type of services that you are offering. And the example that I'm going to use here, it's a real example that we have done for one of our partners in the past. That is a dental clinic. Well, actually, they are still an existing partner. And we really want to find out what is the demand that they have for their services. So dental clinic, usually their services revolve around dental cleaning, scaling and polishing, teeth whitening. And what we wanted to do is we want to find out what are the demand for their services online. And we can do so by identifying what kind of keywords. So in order to do that, you need to have a SEO tool. So like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to pay for one. Usually there's a lot of tools out there that offer free trials. You can just get a free trial, get your data, and then choose not to renew after that, or renew after that. It's completely up to you. So what you're looking for is you are looking for keywords that have a high search volume, because usually when a keyword have high search volume, it means to say they have a high demand. And what we want to do is we want to find which keywords have the highest search volume for our services. Once you have identified the keywords, what we need to do next is we need to include in these keywords on the most relevant page on our website. So for example, if the keyword I found is scaling and polishing, I want to map it to my scaling and polishing service page, the page where I'm actually talking about scaling and polishing and I'm offering that service. So how do we actually do this is if you're using a WordPress website, which most of the users are, and if you're not, I highly recommend you try using WordPress because it's easy, it's robust, and it has a lot of functions. So you need to have a SEO plugin. And once you have a SEO plugin, you can simply include in the keywords in the SEO title tag. A few things to take note when you are including in the keywords. Do remember these three things. Number one, make sure that the keywords are in front, meaning to say you want to front load the keywords at the start of the title tag. Do not include it at the end. Secondly, you do not want to repeat the keywords, meaning to say if, let's say, the keywords is scaling and polishing, you do not want to repeat scaling and polishing and then scaling and polishing after that. And what you want to do lastly is you want to keep it short. Do not have it too long because it will not be that well optimized. And the final thing that you need to do is you need to track. Now, the reason why you need to track is because after you have done this implementation, you want to be able to see whether this implementation has gotten you any leads or sales or customers. And you cannot do that if you do not track. So how you do tracking is actually pretty simple. What you need to do is you need to have a thank you page. So whenever submits a form on your website, they needs to be redirected to a thank you page. And every single time when somebody lands on the thank you page, it means to say a lead has been converted, and that's how you actually capture from your website. And what you need to do is in Google Analytics, you need to set up in such a way that every single time somebody hits your thank you page, that becomes a conversion. and you can set this up in your Google Analytics. And as a bonus tip for you, if you want to monitor whether if the changes that you have made have improved, what you can do is you can also track the page that you have optimized in Google Search Console. So in Google Search Console, what you can do is you can include in the URL that you have optimized and see whether the impressions have went up. If they did went up, it means to say the improvements are kicking in place, and highly likely there will be more leads and customers coming to you via your website. So this simple strategy is what we do for most. So this simple strategy is what we do for all of our partners, and they always result in a number. So this simple strategy is what we do for all of our partners, and this always results in an increase in the number of leads and customers to their physical shop. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I really want to hear. So if you do have any questions, please drop your comments down in the comment section. And if you've enjoyed it, like, subscribe. And so if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe so that you'll be notified whenever our next video comes out.